disrupt their timing and their rhythm. I can't give them these big chunk plays through the air. I got to be maybe a little bit more aggressive or do something a little bit different.
Now on 1st and goal, let's see what Georgia will do. They'll try to get it in with the run. Didn't get much done on that run. He'll fight his way out and maybe pick up a yard. 2nd down, he'll throw it. And that's going to fall to the ground incomplete. That was a physical matchup there. 3rd down coming.
2nd and goal, no dice for this offense. If I'm on offense right now, I'm thinking about who are my mismatches, who are my big bodies out wide that I can throw them the football.
And he's going to take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Georgia! Extra point here will tie the game. And the extra point was good. Quick work on that scoring drive, just 4 plays. Now to make sure this kickoff team covers properly to pay off that last scoring drive. He'll bring it out. It's Martin. Not nearly as much as he'd hoped when he brought it out of the end zone. He'll be stopped at the 15. Good news, I guess. A lot of room to work with as they start this drive from their own 15. Wants to throw. It's Allard. Sets up the screen. And this one will be stopped for no gain.
And you're trying to get the ball to the running back quick and let him get some space, but there was absolutely no space. They penetrated quickly, and they got him before he could even get going.
Second down, they'll go to the air. Makes the grab. It's Reynolds. They're able to get him stopped just shy of the 1st down mark. The Nittany Lions come to the line on 3rd and short, trying to keep the drive alive.
Well, nice completion there, finding the tight end. And what's so beautiful about that is...
And the quarterback brought up 2 and sacked at the 12.
This defense has the ability to get pressure on the QB from the edge. And I don't necessarily mean from defensive ends, but from the outside linebackers. These guys get in their sprinter stances, and they come off the ball. That outside linebacker showed you his speed right there.
Throws to the wideout. And he is finding wide open defenders all over the field. His 3rd interception of the day. Touchdown, Bulldogs! And they turn it into a defensive score.
Yeah, how about that, man? 4th down, trying to go make a play, get this offense going, get it sparked, get some points on the board, and that couldn't have gone any worse. They throw the pick. Not only that, they return it all the way back for 6. That offense just shot themselves right in the foot.
He'll bring it out. It's Martin. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. A little bit backed up to start this drive from their own 18-yard line. They'll start this drive going to the air. Makes the catch. It's Ross. That's the kind of play that can really get you going as they get it out to the 36. They have set the tone in this one already inside a minute to play in a wild 1st quarter. To the air, it's Allard. Throws for the tight end. He's got an open man. Defense swarming on that loose ball. It'll be a turnover.
You've got to have better ball security on offense. The football possession, that is priceless. Losing possession, turning the ball over, that kills you in games, that loses games, and that is a bad play at a bad time.
Good pick up there as he gets the 1st down, and they'll mark him at the 48.
Well, it's an electrifying run. You think about the tradition at the running back position for the Bulldogs. Herschel Walker and his Heisman Trophy. No Sean Marino. And how about this? Todd Gurley, Nick Chubb, and Sony Michel all there at the same time. I bet this guy could have gotten to that rotation, though, because he's got those types of skills.
They knock him down, but he's got enough to get it across the line and pick up the first down. So after the break, they'll go back to work. Might as well run him until they stop him. He's got it again. Not a whole lot of room as he gets a couple inside the 30 to the 29.
And a lot of times you want those big plays. You want those splash plays, but sometimes you're going to take some losses. You're not going to run the football overly well, but if you continue to run it, you can at least create some balance. You at least have the threat of it. Otherwise...
Another interception. That's his fourth of the day. A return there would have just been icing on the cake. They'll just have to settle for the cake at the 23.
That QB might want to register as a 501c3. With the amount of donations he is making to the other team right now, interception number 4 now, putting his team in a bad position time and time again. We might want to start thinking about a change here.
Just a short pass to the tight end. Across the 35, out of bounds at the 36, and a really good pickup as they're starting to move. They'll snap it from the 36. They've got a first down. From the gun, they'll give it on the inside. Pretty good effort on that one to work his way up to the 42.
Great offenses always stay ahead of the chains. That run right there, now you're in a good position. It's not second and long. It's not third and long. Now it's the whole playbook's open. The defense really has to honor run and pass on the next snap.
Not a whole lot of progress made there on the short run. The Nittany Lions come to the line on third down, trying to keep this drive alive. Back to pass, it's Allard. Fires to the right. Another interception. This guy just can't find his own players.
A lot of quarterbacks have so much confidence that they can fit the ball in tight windows. How about the defensive player right here making an unbelievable interception, forcing the turnover, big play, big momentum swing.
We're ready to get another look at this Bulldog offense. Boy, they had that last drive moving a little bit, David, but then the mistake just crushed them.
Yeah, and those mistakes are going to happen. You're going to throw the football, you're going to throw interceptions, but I think I stay aggressive with this offense. I get back to what I did on the first part of that drive, what made me successful.
I agree, David. Just turn the page if you're a quarterback, right? On this drive, you did a lot of good things there leading up to that pick. Forget about it, move on, play the next play.
And it just squirted through his hands. He wanted to take off and got too anxious.
And that doesn't happen very often. That's their go-to guy. I love the way they move him around the field, and they try to attack the middle with him to get the ball in his hands and let him do some damage. And he shows you the drop. Okay, it's in there, but it doesn't happen very often.
He'll be stopped about 2 yards short of a first down. On fourth down, they'll throw for it. It's dropped, and oh, what a tough way to end this drive. And that decision will be questioned for a while.
And sometimes the best defense is getting a little bit lucky. He was open. He had a chance to make a play. He just drops it through his hand. It was pretty good defense, but you take those breaks when you can get them.
They'll crank up this drive with the pass. On the run, still looking. He'll pull it down. And it'll be a short game. No need to take a big hit there on the scramble.
And I think this is important for this defense. This will be a big key in the football game. Like, I got to limit the damage from that guy. Because that's a QB that's dynamic, and he can make so many big plays. I got to string him out. I got to make him get to the sideline. But I will say this. I do want to hit him at the end of the runs. I don't want to let him out of bounds and let him get free carries. I want it to be physical.
Just shy of midfield at the 47. The defense needs a third down stop. Oh, he's ready to take a shot. And here's the 5th interception by this quarterback. He's brought down. A short return, but the defense comes out on top with a pick.
Well, that's the second pick in as many series now for this quarterback. But, David, I love the defense right now and the way they're reading and reacting to all these route concepts. I mean, they are all over these guys on the back end.
Makes a grab right down the middle. They bring him down, but the big play will own the sticks.
I love that play call. And quarterbacks are always licking their chops after their defense gets a takeaway because they know now, hey, I got a sudden change situation. I've got a chance to take a shot and pad my stats.
Running to Breed. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. Georgia comes quickly to the line. Trying play action. Unloads to the wideout. And he really needed to hold on to that one, but it was not loose, and third down is coming.
Not many receivers like to get hit. They just don't, okay? They're prima donnas. That's what they are. That's who they are. Nice job by the defender. You could tell he was catching the football. He was going to put a hit on him to make sure he had to think about something later, and you could see the ball pop out and fall to the ground.
Right down the middle. Another incompletion on third down. The offense stays on the field despite the fact they've misfired on 2 fourth-down attempts already. Can they change? And that is his 5th interception, a nightmare he is not waking up from.
What a big game-changing play. I love when you see defensive players, they jump on the ball like they were the offensive guys. So aggressive, going and getting that pick, creating some big mojo for your team.
That's reeled in. It's Pena. There to make the tackle, but the big throw is good enough to give them a first down.
And I think this receiver's forte is his route running. He's a guy that can line up all over the field, but it's not just catching post routes and goes. This guy can run shallows, he can run slants, he can run the option routes and find soft spots in the defense. This guy really...
And he's still running after the move. Slicing and dicing through this defense, and they've got it down to the 23.
How nice is it as a quarterback when you don't have to throw post routes to get great stats? No, I can just throw it quickly to one of the fastest players in the entire nation and let him burn this defense.
Working that left side now. Makes the grab and not quite enough for the first down, but a good gain on that play.
I'll tell you, I love the play call on first down here. You're just trying to find an easy completion, and the shortest throw on the field for the quarterback is finding your biggest target, and that's the tight end. Nice job.
Looking downfield, it's Allard. Good timing on the quick out. And he motors into the end zone. Touchdown, Nittany Lions!
And I like this offense not panicking, executing on this drive, and driving down the field and tying this football game up. I love the no panic, just stay chill, and now we got ourselves a football game.
And that kick was perfectly down the middle. And that extra point was good, and we're all tied up here in the second. All tied up and just about set to kick it away. What kind of field position can he help them with on the return? Good job by the coverage unit to stop the return man. This drive will open from the 15. Starts a drive trying to go up top. Using his feet to buy time.
I love the play call on defense. You got the offense backed up. How can you create a safety? How can you bring pressure? How can you get someone home to the QB and try to get those 2 points up on the scoreboard? They almost got it, bringing the QB down at the 1 yard line.
It's second and long now as this defense has some energy after that last sack. Standing in his own end zone looking to throw. He's going for the big play. And it's another interception as his assault on the record book continues. And they'll get him down after a solid return.
I absolutely understand the thought process of this offense. The defense has to cover 99 yards. I'm okay with throwing the football, but man, you got to throw that thing aggressively where only your guy can get it, not the defender. They make a big play, create some big momentum, and set their offense up in awesome field position.
Didn't get much done on that first play of the drive. It's 2nd and 11. Dropping back, it's Allard. Fires into the end zone. Can't make the grab as he was looking for his man right at the goal line. And the last thing they need is to squander this great field position facing a 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Looking for the score. Touchdown, Penn State! The offense cashing it in on that drive.
And I just love the execution by this offense. Late in the half, man, you want to take the lead. You want to get that momentum on your side, and they do it. They finish it with the passing game. And I'll tell you what, keep that passing game up. You can keep this lead, keep the momentum, and keep putting up numbers.
And the extra point is true, and they're on top by 7. And the returner goes down. Good news, I guess. A lot of room to work with as they start this drive from their own 15. Looking downfield on 1st down. Fires to the big fella. Out to the 32-yard line before he goes out of bounds, and that's the way to give a little start to the drive. They'll snap this one from the 32. It's 1st down. Gets the back moving. Looking to throw on 1st down. Here's the pressure. Grabbed behind the line. It's Frazier.
Yeah, and you see running backs in today's football, they play wide receiver basically for you, but you got to find a guy that you can throw it to, and you know he's going to catch the ball consistently.
They'll move the wide receiver. Looking to go up top, and time's running out in the half. Steps away. Rush coming in hot, and they got him at the 29.
Well, I think one of the biggest reasons why this team is finding themselves in a hole here in the first half is this has been a sack party. They can't keep the defense off of their quarterback. They haven't been able to get the ball deep down the field, throwing it with the consistency they want because they can't keep their quarterback standing up straight.
Fires to the wideout. It's caught. And he was able to shed a tackle and pick up the 1st down before they finally get him on the ground. Here's a timeout on the field. Tight game here late in the first half. Rush is on him. Can't find his man as he took a shot trying to deliver that football, and it'll be 2nd down. Couldn't make the connection last time. Let's see if they throw it again. Leaves it with the running back. They'll give him a couple. That leaves him with 3rd and 8. Georgia going up tempo. Dropping back, it's Stockton. Hauls it in. And boy, is he close to that 1st down, maybe just a couple of inches short. They'll immediately call timeout.
One of the things I love about this defense is they just have such great awareness, and they're always communicating. They understood the down and distance. They knew exactly what they needed to do to make the tackle to force the punt. That is so well done.
Drop the football, and they'll turn it over on downs. The decision to go for it does not pan out. First snap of this drive will come from the 46. Looking to throw on 1st down. Buying some time. Complete to the right. Several defenders there to get him on the ground. Quick timeout call by the offense after the play. Just a few seconds remaining here as they try to put something up before halftime. Back to throw, time running short in the half. Looking deep. Passes incomplete. The clock is down to 9.
I know one of the things this defense really prides themselves on is being physical, and early in this game, putting a big hit on a guy that's already had a couple catches in this game, that's a good omen for the defense.
On 3rd and short, they'll try to pick it up with the pass. He can't find his man, and the clock stops with 6 seconds left.
Great job by the defense there. They weren't surprised by that play call there on 3rd and short. They were expecting pass. They took everything away and forced the incompletion.
One more snap coming before halftime. On 4th down, they'll pass for it. Going to throw it over the top of the D. Downfield and incomplete. The defense holds.
You know, offensively in that situation, 4th down, you're throwing for it. Everything has to go right, or someone just needs to be able to make a play to keep the drive alive. They couldn't get it done, and now the offense is coming off the field.
Pass is incomplete, and half comes to a close on that play. That's going to wrap it up here in the first half. Stay tuned. Second half not too far away. We're just about ready to start the second half. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. They'll put this one in play. First snap of the drive from the 25. Looking to pass. It's Allard. Floating away. And to get rid of it quickly.
A really good job by the defense. They got to understand that boy can fly. So when he gets outside the pocket, I got to make sure I'm ready to go get him. You could tell he was still being a passer. He wanted to throw the football. Nice job closing under control, getting a hit on the quarterback, and affecting the throw.
Forges ahead. Picks up about 3 to the 29. Ball's at the 29. Defense can taste getting off the field. It's 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. He tries to take the top off. And they can't hook up on the big play, and that brings up a 4th down. Oh, he had him out there, and he was trying to compensate for that speed, but just a little too much distance.
That's just greased lightning, so you think, I can't overthrow this guy. I'm going to throw it out there and let him run underneath it just a little bit too far for the speedster.
Throwing right. Makes a catch. First down and maybe a lot more. He found plenty of room, and he gets it to the 39-yard line.
And they're showing you their intentions early in the game. It's 4th down. You're in your own end. We're going to be aggressive, and we're not just going to do this early. We're going to do this all game long. Awesome execution on a critical down.
All kinds of room to throw that one in there. The stop is made, but this offense is threatening. 1st and goal from the 9. And that big gainer on the last one has them ready to go from inside the 10. Oh, he'll keep it on the draw. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, they try to go draw on that one. There was just nowhere for the back to go. Great job defensively.
Yeah, and great penetration. You want him to run upfield on the draw play. The defense doesn't bite, stuffs the run.
Quarterback doing what he does best. He can move. And with not much doing downfield, he found his parents open in the stands and threw it to them. It's 3rd and goal and 3rd and long. Scanning the field, it's Allard. Caught in the backfield, it's Singleton. He did not make it a stone wall on 3rd down. And on 4th down, they'll try to put 3 on the board. From the right hash, and this distance makes that angle not quite so severe. And this one sails through just inside that left upright. And that lead grows even bigger.
And listen, y'all know in the booth and everywhere how I feel about kickers. Don't always love leaving it on their foot, so to speak, but nice job executing. He keeps doing stuff like that. I'll keep trotting him out there.
He's brought down at the 16. Would have been much better off to take the touchback. We'll see what they can do on this drive that starts at the 16-yard line. From the gun, leaves it on the inside with the back.
It's got to feel good as an offense knowing that early in the drive you can turn around, hand it off, get a push up front, and go get positive yardage.
The Dogs can really attack on this 2nd and short. He just couldn't hold his water long enough at the line of scrimmage. It'll be a penalty. The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. And here comes the offense on 2nd down.
Let's go.
Looking to fire. Throws to the wideout. Pick off. What a play to set him up. Nice pickup on the return, but more important, they got the takeaway, and now they're in business.
QBs have to understand, when I'm throwing against zones, I got to manipulate guys with my eyes. I might have to look one direction to create an opening to throw that ball or zip that ball in. I got to use touch. It's really hard when all eyes are on me, and you can tell the quarterback was not ready and did not make a good throw.
To the air, it's Allard. Fires to the big fella. Look, you can't take away everything, right? So you give them that and rally and make a solid tackle.
Yeah, and a lot of times in zone coverage, I like when I can get all the eyes on the quarterback. I like when I can see the routes and see him develop in the middle. And you could tell they had keys on the tight end. He wasn't going anywhere after he caught that football.
2nd down, they'll go to the air. Pass rush coming after the quarterback, and they get him at the 32. The free safety timed his rush perfectly on the blitz, and they come up with the sack.
Yeah, and the free safety usually stays deep and plays coverage, plays in the middle of the field, but just spin him down, bring him in a blitz. You can tell, caught the offense off guard, and he gets the quarterback and gets the sack.
They'll try to salvage a field goal on this drive. This might be a little easier if it were straight on, but a 43-yarder from the right hash. Absolute shame. Missed it. Lead is still at double digits, but missed a chance to make it bigger.
And sometimes I just feel like 4th down, man. Just go for it every time. Like the field goal miss, make rate. And listen, kickers have improved the last couple of years, but we left some points off the scoreboard there.
Can't make the connection, and the defense putting on the heat and forcing the incompletion.
They've already got a bunch of sacks on them today and another quarterback pressure. This offense has to try to find a way to get the ball out a little bit quicker, to protect the quarterback a little bit more. Whether it's screens, whether it's draws, whether it's rolling your quarterback, something has to change for this offense to protect the quarterback a little bit better.
Guys, this offense is already reeling down multiple possessions. Really need to cash in on this drive. Intercepted, and the defense has set him up. Good gain on the return, and this defense has set them up with a big play.
Well, it's 3rd and long. They're trying to throw beyond the sticks to get the 1st down. What a great job by the defender that time, breaking on the ball, snagging it out of the air, and securing that interception.
Defense in press coverage. He's wrestled to the ground right at the 15-yard line, and a big red zone opportunity here.
And I think this has probably been the most surprising thing of this game so far. This guy's one of the best running backs in the entire country. They just can't get him going. He's never been able to get into a rhythm. You got to give the defense so much credit because they have been able to shut this guy down, and they got to keep that up here in the 2nd half.
Back to throw, it's Allard. Fires into the end zone. Looking to get it in. Down, a lot of times it comes down to not necessarily who's the most open, who do you trust the most?
Yeah, it's not about the X's and the O's. It's about the Jimmys and the Joes. And when my guy's better than you and I get you matched up out wide, and I know I trust you, I'm finding you.
This coach wanted to be absolutely certain on a challenge. He was right. The previous play will be overturned. And with the extra point, they now have a 3-possession lead at 17. They keep pushing that lead out, and the kickoff team's getting some work. On the run from inside his own 5. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. wants to go up top on first down. Unloads to the wideout. Just a bit of a misfire there as they can't make the connection.
And for whatever reason, this quarterback has not been able to find his footing in this game. He's one of the better, more talented quarterbacks in the country. Had his guy wide open that time. He didn't have to throw it that hard. He could have just floated it to him for the easy completion, but he's just been off over and over again in this game.
Now the play fake. This time it's complete. He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there. Still a bit short of the first down. In the gun, looking to throw on third down. Trying to burn this defensive back. Makes the grab on the right. They convert on third down as he gets it to the 46-yard line. We asked earlier this week, who's your favorite receiver? And, of course, he said the open one. But we know who he really wants to go to on third down.
The best one. I mean, I think the open one, obviously the politically correct answer, but you want to find the guy that you got that great chemistry with. You know,
he lets one fly deep. And it was worth the gamble, but the long pass is incomplete.
That's a great job of the defense turning the page. You just gave up a big completion. You come right back here, you defend another shot down the field. That should hopefully give him a little bit of confidence.
Got it in the middle, it's Thomas. When a defense is in zone coverage, Jesse, they want to react. How do you react to a howitzer coming out like that one?
Not much you can do because this guy's got a cannon. You saw all the eyeballs on defense on that play. They were waiting and anticipating that throw, but when you've got an arm like that, it's going to be tough to stop.
Just too much of a rush, and down goes the quarterback just behind the midfield stripe at the 49. Making side adjustments here. On fourth down, they'll try to throw it. Oh, he dropped it. He just lost his concentration and didn't look it all the way in. They spun that wheel of fortune on fourth down and come up bankrupt. So first play of the drive coming here from their own 49. Off the play fake on first down. That one never had a chance. Incomplete. Not sure exactly what went haywire there, but the timing was just off.
And that's your job as a defense, right? You got to find a way to disrupt the timing and jam wide receivers or get to the quarterback and make him feel uncomfortable, but you can't let that timing be easy and effortless. Nice job by the defense.
Defense makes the tackle, and that will probably be the final play of the third quarter. So we open the final period with a third down play. Back to throw, it's Allard. Going for it all. And he's thrown another interception. Bringing it back. Smashes through the tackle. He steps out of bounds, but not only does he get the ball back, what a return to set up his offense. And Georgia ready to go back to work on offense. We've certainly seen better performances from this group. You have to hope that they'll grow from this, but this is going to be one that they're going to kick themselves over for a while. Hit hard as he released the ball on that first down pass, and it never had a chance. Try to make up for some of that lost ground on second down. They'll throw again after the incompletion. Fires to the tight end. Makes the grab almost to the first down marker, but a good pickup on that one. The Bulldogs want to move quickly. Quarterback making checks. They'll go to the air on third and short. Quickly to the tight end. Knocked out of bounds. They're in the red zone. Marking at the 17, and they are set up. Really good job working through his progression. You get into him quickly, and the big tight end has a chance to run a little.
And a really good job by the QB throwing an accurate throw. I got to hit those guys on the move, on the run, so they can do this. They can catch the football, get upfield.
It's picked off, and they ruin the drive with a turnover.
And as a defensive lineman late in the game, man, when you know it's passed, you're pinning your ears back, trying to get to the quarterback, and DBs are trying to do this. Pad them stats, get the INT. Nice job by this dude.
On the gun, running back on the move. Pushes forward for 3 out to the 13. Got 3 on first down. It's 2nd and 7. On the run, it's Singleton. Navigates that mass of bodies and gets 4 out to the 17.
And I know you can play these late-game situations differently, but I love when you just stay physical. You run the football, you preserve the lead, you got great field position, you're in a great position to salt this clock away and get it done.
He gets it so close to the first down marker, but I think he's going to be a touch short. The Nittany Lions will try to pin them back with the punt. First time today we've seen a punter go to work. The offense will have to use its first time out of the half. And the Nittany Lions will call on their punt team. The punters have had the day off up to this point, first one of the game. Coverage team gets the job done, and they'll mark him down at the 38-yard line. Opening snap of this drive comes from the 38-yard line. Coming out on first down with the play fake. He hurls one deep down the left side. He's got it on the outside. Just making a huge play, and he sets him up all the way down at the 14.
Well, I'll give this offense some credit because they've got a lot of fight. There is no quit in them, and they're obviously trailing by a big amount in this game. They haven't had a lot of success, but they're still taking shots, and their players are still out there competing.
Makes the grab. He wrestles him down at the 3 after the grab. It'll be 1st and goal. Georgia heads to the line with a 1st and goal. To throw, it's Stockton. And that incomplete pass caused by the big hit on first down. 2nd down coming. Got nothing last time. Now 2nd and goal from the 3. They'll try to run it in. Touchdown, Dogs! Excellent pass by the back on the option.
And the running back was not going to be denied on that play. He had a hole. He saw it. He put his foot in the ground, and that was pay dirt.
On to attempt the try. And the extra point is good, but they still trail 31-21. So the kickoff team will come out after they turn in a score on that last drive. He'll bring it out. It's Singleton. Stopped at the 17, and he's probably second-guessing that return. They'll get this drive going from the 17. Wants to throw on first down off the play fake. Looking for a deep man. Pulls it in down the sideline. And he was loose and out the gate and doesn't go down until he gets to the 48-yard line. That big explosive play carries them into plus territory. They'll snap it 1st and 10 from just across the 50. They'll run it trying to drain time off the clock. Knocked down behind the line. Boy, he powered through one tackler, but there were more there to greet him.
It's going to be tough sledding for the offense here. They're trying to ice this game by running the football and leading the clock. They've got a pretty good lead here late in the game, but the defense knows the run's coming, right? So they're going to be loading the line of scrimmage, getting stops like what they just did. Be interesting to see what the offense does on this next one.
Fires to the wideout. Receiver wasn't ready for the throw, incomplete.
And when you're a quarterback, man, I know wide receivers are great athletes and they're supposed to catch everything that gets near them, but when you don't put it right on the center, when they're running a lot of times, it just makes it a little bit more difficult. And I think he did that a little bit too much for his wide receiver right there.
Looking to throw, it's Aller. Pressure coming. Gonna throw it to the right. He's got his man. Putting together a real scoring threat here as they pick up the first down at the 36. The Nittany Lions are moving quickly down the field. They'll run it from the gun. had to work to pick up 3 down to the 33-yard line.
And here's the mindset if you're on offense. Fourth quarter, you've got a huge lead. Obviously, you're going to run the football, but just be aware of the clock. You don't want to snap it too quickly. You're probably just doing safe runs inside the tackles like you...
Fires toward the end zone. Touchdown, Nittany Lions! They went for it all, and it paid off with the score.
And, man, is that perfect timing. You can tell quarterback drops back. He sees his guy, and he knows he's open. But watch the throw. Deep down the field, Palmer, right in the breadbasket. Nice play, nice pitch and catch.
He did a nice job of getting it up in the air early and allowing his guy to run under the football, locate it, and then make a tough grab. That is the definition of an explosive play.
Kickoff unit has been busy as they have built a big lead, and they're trying to hold on to it. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. Going right to work up top. Intercepted. Man, they just can't get anything going. And he's wrapped up after a solid return on the pick.
And if you're the quarterback, you might want to stop throwing that guy's way. I mean, you knew coming into this game, David, he's one of the best corners in the entire country. He's already been picked off twice now. He is literally living in this quarterback's head rent-free.
It's so nice to have a guy like this that can cut off half the field, because now you can put resources elsewhere. He's proven, if you try me, bad things are going to happen.
After picking up a couple at 2nd and 8. They'll run play action. Here comes the heat. The officials stop the clock for the 2-minute timeout, and the offense is that much closer to victory. Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face 3rd down. Looking to throw, it's Allard. Throws to the wideout. Intercepted. Big play stops the drive. Taking it the other way. And a big return after the INT sets up the offense for this possession.
And some guys just have a knack of finding the football, and he is one of them. Like, you can just tell when the ball's in the air, he's like, that is mine. His second big game-changing play in this football game.
Makes the grab along the sidelines, but it'll be a little short of the first down. Now they'll line it up from the 44 on 1st and 10. To the air on 1st down. He's going for a big play downfield. It's picked off. That's number 10. Not much on that return, but I think they'll let him slide after making that pick, and they'll have it at the 20.
But, man, we've seen explosive offensive firepower all game long, and here we are late in an obvious passing situation trying to get this thing close. The big INT. Finally, the defense makes a play, and, David, it looks like they just closed the door on this one.
Well, and you know, Mr. Quarterback, defense wins championships. And how do you seal a game? The defense coming up with a big moment. Yes, obvious passing situation. You know they're going to throw it. The big INT, and that might seal their fate.
The Nittany Lions come to the line on 3rd and short, looking to keep this drive moving. Wants to throw on 3rd down. Makes the grab. It's Reynolds. And they'll spot it at the 38, and that'll be plenty for the 1st down. The Nittany Lions come to the line with a new set of downs. From the shotgun, they'll run it. And the defense snows him under after a very short gain.
The big fella in the middle, man. Those defensive tackles, they go such a long way in deciding and really stopping the other team's run game. Just forcing contact with those guards and those centers, owning the line of scrimmage, and getting running backs on the ground.
Come to the line at the 42, facing a 3rd and short. Corners right up on that line of scrimmage. Coming into this one, we wondered whether these guys were a little bit overrated, and certainly they did nothing to dispel that notion.
They were playing angry today, and I know talking to some of their players, David, coming into this game, they felt like they were being disrespected A lot of people thought their opponent might get them today, so they took this opportunity to make a statement and make an example out of their opponent.
And those are fun moments in the locker room, aren't they, Jesse? Like, everybody's doubting us. Nobody thinks we can win. It's really easy to motivate that type of squad. They played motivated. They played a little ticked off. I'm here for it. I love it. I love the excitement, the adrenaline, the emotion, and they earned a big dub today.
That will put the wrap on things from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis. You've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.